And it's Wednesday, and it's on cooldown. It's right news time. We got news, baby. We're going to talk about it. I think the biggest thing on the planet right now is the massive nerfs.
Jesus, man.
Of the
Holy shit. That I've never seen nerfs that big since 1993, man. God damn it.
Can I get a curve right now, please? Well, the thing is, we're going to get right into it because there's a lot to talk about over there regarding the raid. However, if you want to do the raid in proper swag, clothing, representing yours truly, this is it, baby. Check out our merch. It's on cooldown over here. You can get some TLF, some Assassino Criticalando, mugs, t-shirts, phone cases, all of that good stuff in the link in the description.
Everything.
It's all there.
Everything on the planet.
Yeah, it's a great way to support our content. You can get some out of it as well. And I don't know, maybe you can get a sticker. Maybe you can get a poster. There's all those options over there.
A laptop case, in which case we're playing WoW on a laptop. God damn it, man, get a PC.
Just check the link in the description after the video. Watch for all of the good stuff over there. Maybe you're gonna see something you like. And with that being said, let's go into the raid, which I will have to say, I like this raid way more than I liked 9.1. The Sylvanas not Chains of Domination. What the fuck was it called? See, I liked it so much I forgot. Sanctum of Domination. Yes, I like this raid much better than that. I still feel Castle Nathria was the best out of all of three.
It was a very different feel to it, and it was a castle like a Victorian type Gothic style nature of it. And obviously after like this oppressive amalgam of colors that we had in Shadowlands so far, like heavy, deep, dark colors, having the light-hearted outdoor Sepulcher is just fucking amazing, man.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? I'm just switching cameras. You're gonna see it. I have a big head. What can I do? Castle Nathria, just talking about it for a second here. When compared to like Sepulcher and Sanctum of Domination, you mentioned feel. I would say that Castle Nathria had like the most personality of all of the raids. It was so thematic and so it had a uniqueness to it that I didn't really find in the next couple of raids.
I think personality is the key word here, because I just, now that you're saying that, I'm thinking, I was like, what personality this Sanctum had? It was Torghast, and it didn't even have that was the problem. The only, actually, to be fair, and I think we can all agree with this, the only real personality that Sanctum had was Painsmith. It was the only room that felt like, oh, this is totally devised for torture. It had chains and sounds and hammers all over the place.
Chains of domination.
but going into the Sepulcher, the nerfs, they're pretty much all for Mythic. However, the Mythic bosses are... Okay, fair enough. People have cleared. They're not unclearable. They're not that difficult. People are clearing it every week.
This is kind of expected to a certain degree because nerfs are coming in like almost on a weekly basis. And yes, there were a lot of guilds who cleared it already. So
since I'm main tanking right now, and I think we're almost downing Zymox at the moment. And as a tank, since I'm a protection warrior as well, I'm constantly talking to my co-tank and I'm supposed to like prep Blood Decay because the fights are undoable with Prot Warrior. Maybe they are, but they're probably like extra level difficult. So I think the majority of the nerfs are to assess the class balance things. Like certain class just make the fights way better. And sure, maybe that should be the case, but that the fights shouldn't be undoable without those said classes, you know?
This is the thing. Just looking at what happened here, I think like the big three bosses, I would say probably the biggest roadblocks for the progression guilds, Anduin, Rygelon, and The Jailer all received nerfs, and they're not only Mythic. I know in some of the nerfs for Rygelon and The Jailer, the nerfs went to heroic difficulty as well, or it was mentioned there all difficulties. But in general, yes, this was addressed to be with the Mythic. So let's just go through them a little bit, right? So for Anduin, Blasphemy and Lost Soul duration has been increased. The Wicked Star targets one player at a time, and Grim Reflections HP got nerfed as well. This is definitely, it's nerfs. It's gonna make make it easier. And I feel still Anduin is one of the coolest fights if you have a lot of AoE damage.
Oh, it's really nice. And the mechanics essentially are coordination type mechanics. Because I'm thinking of Blasphemy, you know, that you have to pair up the opposing colors. You just have more time to do that. And the Lost Soul as well as being going down and clearing all the ads in time. That's
I mean,
kind of like, because there as well, since they're so spread out and they have consistently nerfed spread damage in terms of spread dots, that fight from a damage profile is a little bit harder. Like I said, it's not undoable. Clearly people have cleared it so far.
Oh yeah.
But for certain specs, it becomes increasingly difficult where it's maybe not that fair, right? So if you want to raid Mythic and you want to like clear it super quick, you get the best of the best, right? But you shouldn't be able to have to pick the best of the best to be able to clear Mythic, period, right? So this is kind of what's coming into that. And moving into Rygelon as well, its HP has been nerfed. The collapsing Quasar field lasts longer, so you know you have more time to deal with the mechanic.
Oh man, a lot of people are gonna love that. I know a lot of guilds, especially like when looking at Heroic and even Mythic, a lot of people kind of struggle with the Quasars and shit. The fact that sometimes, depending on the comp you have, you cannot get to a Quasar in time, or people are just not
feeling red paladin.
Right, yeah. But I never had an issue. Okay, I hold my own, but I saw a couple of streams here and there, and it really depends. If your group really is not focused on those or whatever, it could be a bad time. You know, not everybody has that instant mobility or whatever. But still, the fact that those last longer means, you know, more easy way to deal with that mechanic.
Better time to deal with the mechanics as well. And the unstable Quasar radius and damage has been reduced as well. And the dark collapse and cosmic eruption damage has been reduced as well on Rygelon.
Let's talk numbers as well, because we have to talk about the numbers. So the collapsing Quasar field now lasts 8 seconds, up from 6. You mentioned dark collapse, that has been reduced by 25% in Mythic. Unstable Quasar radius reduced by 25% and damage reduced by 20% in Mythic difficulty. And cosmic ejection dot has been reduced by 33% in Mythic. I'm just gonna go really fast onto the Anduin ones as well, just to get the numbers straight.
Just get the numbers.
Yeah. So Blasphemy duration was increased to 12 seconds in all difficulties. Lost Soul duration increased to 40 seconds in all difficulties. This was 35 seconds. Wicked Star now targets one player at a time. Okay, this is only in Mythic. We said that. What else? Reduced health of Grim Reflections by 15% in Mythic difficulty. So just to have the numbers over there. I think like as we mentioned in Rygelon, I think the biggest thing would be the collapsing Quasar field duration. I think that would be the biggest one for like Mythic progression, and not even all Mythic. I have seen a lot of Heroic boys as well struggling with that stuff. So if you're gonna be in a Heroic guild and try to go into Mythic, it's gonna be a lot easier to deal with. Last but not least,
we're going to the
Jailer.
And this is where I thought that it was mostly addressed towards kind of tanks, but not necessarily just tanks, because
Mr. Tanko.
There's at least two things there for tanks. But taking it in the order, the Azrai radiation damage taken has been reduced from, because you know you were taking 100%, now it's down to 80%. Then you have the meteor cleave damage has been reduced by 10%, which is basically the tank combo where it just slaps all around. Obviously everybody's soaking it, so it's kind of damage to everybody, but clearly the tank takes probably the most amount out of the entire split damage. And together with that, the shattering blast dot has been decreased as well, the damage itself
by 33%.
It's pretty chunky, because you know you use that to destroy pillars and blah 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 and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Also, do want to mention here that the initial explosion damage from Torment was also decreased by 10%, and this in all difficulties.
Yeah.
And Chainbreaker damage was also decreased by 10% in all difficulties.
So it's pretty nice.
It's like nice. You could argue the fact that okay, these changes were the majority made for like the Mythic progression, which is fair enough, but there's a lot of them that also affect Heroic, Normal, and looking for Raid, which again, I think at this cycle of the patch, and we're seeing a lot more 9.2.5 PTR things happening, which means that we're getting close to the let's say end of season 3.
Yeah, they probably want people to clear the raid a little bit quicker, so that they can go into season 4 fresh. And speaking of
season 4, Affix, and dungeons are final, stable. That's it. Well, in terms of like the Affix, we do know that we're going to have some Natrazims infiltrating all over the place, which is interesting enough. And killing them will provide some interesting stuff from, I think it's the brokers. Brokers will be happy to for us to kill
I don't know. We don't know exactly the mechanic. It's just on the PTR, has been recently added to the PTR. It's called Shrouded. And apparently killing the Natrazim gives you a powerful secondary stat boost, which is kind of in tune with what we have now and what we've had. It reminds me on 8.3 and 8.3 in the sense that, you know, there's a big powerful boon by killing these. Now, the numbers itself, like, we don't know yet, and they can still be subject to change to see exactly how powerful the buffs will be. And we're still looking to test these on the PTR. However, having like a kiss curse mechanic, but you know, having a reward for an incentive to clear them, it's obviously good. So
I mean, it's good that they're at least trying to put in a new affix because it's a new season. That adds to the level of, let's say, freshness. Also, the fact that we're gonna have new dungeons.
All right, so we're starting it like so. They've announced essentially in Dragonflight that we're gonna have dungeon rotations throughout the entire expansion, with each season having new sets of dungeons. Initially, I kind of hoped that this would be like a couple of weeks worth of rotation, not just an entire season, because going into season 4, the only dungeons that we will be able to do are the 2 Tazafesh dungeons, the 2 Mechagon dungeons in BFA, and the 2 Karazhan dungeons in Legion, and the Grimrail Depot and Iron Docks from Warlords of Draenor, which are probably the most interesting ones because they have never been a Mythic Plus. Those 2 dungeons are essentially the new testing grounds for making old content into Mythic Plus, and these are the only dungeons we're gonna have throughout the rest of the expansion, starting with season 4. So no more halls, no more the other sides, no more that. I don't know how this will be.
This is gonna be fucking cool. I cannot wait, man. This is gonna be such a fresh new start. And I know a lot of people have done these dungeons in the past. A lot of people have not done these dungeons. And for whatever the case may be, whoever might be in whatever crowd you might be in terms of like doing it or not doing it in the past, having this in Mythic Plus the gear that will drop from these places, I cannot mention. I cannot wait to get my hands on.
Is gonna be a thing,
dude. I mean, the rings from the Mechagon and the bike.
Right. The rings are probably gonna become this because this is gonna be interesting. Since I would expect the loot table from these dungeons to be put into the vault as well. So we will no longer have like scales and shit in the other side and stuff. And this
just shake up that setup, right?
And this is also very important if we're gonna have the new 30 extra eye levels or whatever that's gonna be, and you're not going to get these items in the vault anymore. Like, let's say scale is a good example. Maybe this is the time to get it right now at 272 or 278 eye level, since it's, what is it, 285. The new normal raid eye level in the next year. I don't know if the basic Mythic Plus, Mythic 0 eye level will be 285 yet as well. It's still, I don't think it's yet confirmed. But if it's not, then whatever gear you get from like File of Putrefaction, all of that stuff, you might want to get it now before Season 4 starts. But if anything, it's going to be fresh, man, like you said, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, new dungeons, new layouts, new mobs, and all of that. Plus, again, the items from these dungeons are going to be sick. I mean, I cannot even remember some things that dropped from like Iron Docks and Grimrail Depot, but Karazhan as well. It's gonna. I cannot wait for this to happen.
I'm actually excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be a juicy one. No further details on this yet, but we just have like, you know, the new affix, the dungeons that are set in stone for season 4. The fact that it's on the PTR right now, testable with everything that comes with it, does mean that we're getting closer and closer to the end of season 4. So buckle up. It's gonna be a very juicy ride. Not to mention that the nerfs.
Bumpy ride.
Yeah, the nerfs for the raid also came into this window where you know you're gonna have the rotation for the raids as well in season 4. So if these are all packed up, it's really curious to see how, you know, when the week Castle Natria hits in, how are those going to be tuned. But that being said, this was quite an interesting week. Really good info out there.
So it's looking good. It's looking good. It's exciting times for the future content. We don't know yet when season 4 is gonna launch because I know we're getting a lot of questions, but stay tuned because we will cover it as soon as it's being announced. You'll have it right here, MarcelianOnline on the On Cooldown.
they're on Cooldown, but there's also on Patreons, because that's a new show. It's only for them when they support this content, and we love them for it. Thank you so much, guys. You're supporting everything that we do here, starting from this show on Cooldown, on Wednesdays, Fridays, TLF, on Sundays, guides, different opinion pieces or whatever, not to mention, you know, the streams, the MON Cast podcast, you know, all
everything in the whole wide world is gonna be here, and you're supporting it. So dear viewer, if you want to support us with more, check the link down below.
Oh, that was fast. Thank you for watching the video. Bye!
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.